Hello everyone and welcome back to our Shaolin Talks. My name is Martine.
I'm Janine.
Okay, this is the second time. I think it's the second time I'm in this program. My name is Shi Yanming.
Hello, hello everybody. So today we've got a really interesting talk for you guys. As you know, this month we've been chatting about culture, and we thought we would really like to present to you some interesting facts and history all about tea culture. So we're going to be exploring tea culture from different customs, the history and practices, because we feel tea has always been a really important part of many cultures throughout history. And tea is kind of defined by, or tea culture is kind of defined by the way in which you make the tea. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the way in which it's consumed, and the way that people kind of interact with the tea. And tea has kind of been a part of people's lives for millions of people all around the world, all drinking tea, and for many, many different reasons. So we've been exploring some of those cultures together, and the different reasons why. Sometimes it comes from not just drinking tea for everyday practice, but coming from special occasions, or medicinal, or your health, formal ceremonies, or just general relaxation. But we are going to explore some of those with you guys. So do you guys drink tea on a regular basis? Do you drink shifu?
Yeah, of course I'm drinking tea. I drink tea every day. You know?
What type of tea do you drink?
I drink all different type of teas, different type of flavors as well. So, for example, my main drinking of tea is Chinese tea. So,
nice.
So like I like green tea. Most of the people like green tea. I also like a pearl tea.
Nice.
Da Hong Pao.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's all different types because also depends on the season as well. Right now, like autumn is here, so that's why we had a conversation about autumn festival, and because the temperature is changing, and most of culture, for the tea culture, they changing the way to present the tea, the way different type of tea as well. Because the tea is really, we're talking about why we're drinking tea, why we're drinking it. Obviously we all know tea has a lot of benefit for all of us. For example, olden days, especially in China, olden days, like people drinking tea, they're not drinking tea as like today's like a beverage, a drink. Olden days, they're drinking tea as a medicine. That's why now, these days, a lot of tea, like especially herb tea, really, really popular because people drinking the tea. Because it's really, really good for our body, for the healthy reason. That is why.
What's this tea here? What have we got here? We've got some really nice tea.
That's just black tea, isn't it? Just black tea.
This is
Who made this tea?
I made this tea because I don't know why I'm asking you guys who made. We got some pu'er tea here, so this is pu'er tea, yeah. So Shifu was mentioning about the seasonal tea. I think you suggested some of this today because it's really good for autumn. It's quite warming and it's really good for your digestion, isn't it? So,
that's right.
That's
good.
Yes.
So the pu'er tea is really, really good because this is actually this tea. I think you just broken my 7 years pu'er tea, didn't you? This is one of my favorite tea, the expensive tea.
It's very expensive.
Broken
I was like, whoosh.
my 7 years pu'er tea. Which
he was preserving this.
Yeah, but it was a special occasion. I wanted us to have this is a really special occasion. We're sharing this culture with the people out there. So I just felt like we really needed this tea.
So you just broken my tea.
Yeah.
My tea cake.
Without permission.
Without permission.
Punished. Could get punished.
I hope it tastes. It tastes good.
It tastes really nice, and yours is just like really, really nice.
Yeah.
Can you try? Is it good? I'm going to try my one as well. Hang on.
Really, really good.
It's good. It's a little bit cold now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Okay.
Yeah. So when we were doing our research about teas, it was quite interesting because we were looking at the consumption of tea. Yeah, and we've got quite a few stories about drinking tea because we have to do quite a lot of tea ceremonies.
Yes.
So we've got a few stories to share with you about this.
So Martine, who do you think, which nation consumes the most tea in the world?
Well, I actually know because we've done loads of my research on it. So maybe we can ask the viewers
any
out there.
guys of you out there, I thought it's not the obvious choice. For me, it wasn't the obvious choice.
I thought it was England. I thought it was UK.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because we drink a hell of a lot of tea here.
Yeah.
A lot of tea.
A lot of time you just drinking without thinking.
So-
I think, okay, the tea is good. I know the tea is good for me, but sometimes we, for the figures, for the facts, we missed out.
Yeah, so it's not England.
It's not England.
England,
What
I'm
did you
afraid.
What did you think when you heard? When you
I
first
don't know.
heard
I didn't. I probably thought like somewhere Asian, India or China or
that?
something
Yeah,
like that.
I thought China
Yeah.
as well. I thought China.
I think most of people think probably China.
Yeah. But it's actually number one most consumption of tea in the world is that's a drum roll, by the way. Is Turkey.
Turkey, yeah, very surprising.
Yeah, I
Because
didn't
I
realize
think a
that.
lot of people associate Turkey with coffee first, right?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
I think they're more known to drink coffee, but no, they drink tea a lot as well.
Wow, that's
So how
so.
many cup of tea they drink average? per
Apparently, they say they drink like each person drinks like 1,000 cup of tea per year.
person? Per year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So roughly around, wow.
So they say that's like 2.5 kilos
Whoa.
per person.
2.5.
2.5 kilos per person.
Yeah.
That's what they consume. It's quite a lot.
2.5 kilo
Yeah.
of tea. Tea bags or what?
No,
Tea
I
leaves?
think the tea leaves.
They use tea leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How they preserve it in Turkey? How they drinking it?
How they drinking it?
Yeah.
They actually use glass cups or like a bit like this, like tulip shaped cups, or but they are of glass. So you can. They use mainly black tea. But so the
okay.
glass then also gives them the color, and
Yeah.
it's like kind of a reddish color. And I mean, I've been to Turkey as well. It's like it was one of my
okay.
first holidays, like when I was 12.
Did you? Oh, you wouldn't have drunk tea though. Did you?
No, we did drink tea.
We did drink tea.
Is that very strong?
No, it's kind of it depends because how they make it. So if you see how they make it with a thing. It's like a double kettle or like a double kettle pot, and it has a certain name. It's called chai dunlik.
Okay.
So it's basically you need to imagine you have a bigger kettle and then a smaller one on top. So the bottom one will boil the water, has water inside. The top one has the leaves, tea leaves, plus a bit of water. So it already gets infused and steamed. So when you boil the water as you usually do, and then you pour. Once the water is boiled, you pour the water from the bottom kettle pot into the top,
Right.
and then you fill up your glass like halfway,
Yeah.
and then you can either fill up more water, depending on how strong you want it. So, and then they serve it like on a nice little saucer with a nice little spoon, and they always give you like a bit of sugar with it as well, like 1 or 2 like sugar cubes. And in Turkey, because I was 12 when we went to Turkey, and when you visit, and especially for tourists, I think any tourist to Turkey, if they come back without drinking tea, they haven't been to Turkey.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The same as
So,
Spain.
because wherever you go, any shop, you kind of go to marketplaces or wherever, they drink tea, whatever. So it's basically part of their hospitality as well.
Like a lifestyle as well.
yeah.
Yes,
And they drink tea from morning to, I don't know, late at night, but they're like tea drinking hours are from 3 to 5.
Wow. Okay.
3 till 5.
3 to that's when they drink it with like little sweets and cakes and things. But they drink it throughout the day. So
So the black tea surely very strong, right? So if you're the kids drinking the tea, is that caffeine contain a lot of caffeine in it?
I don't think so. But they also do it. They have like not just black tea. They also have like with apple or like different flavored tea.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
because I remember when we were there, I remember it was like kind of apple tea, or it tasted of apples.
A little bit like a fruit.
But yeah, like fruity tea. So they do have others like also like apple, rosehip, like flowery tea, sage.
It's almost like herb tea, isn't it, as well? Because I know that they did a lot of that in the UK. They have like rosehip tea, and you had sage tea, and it's kind of like medicinal. You know, it's kind of like.
But
herbs.
actually, you know that they like tea was not introduced that long ago in Turkey.
Really? So, what's the
obviously
history?
they basically tea was passed through like in the 1500s through the Silk Road trade, but actually that didn't really. It's not the way where Turkey was like, oh yeah, let's drink tea. No. It was like only because Turkey was a coffee drinking nation, right?
Okay.
And then after a kind of like late 18th century or late 1800s, someone introduced a bit like the tea benefits of tea and so on, and then only in the 1930s like they produced mass, because then it is kind of Turkey jumped on the tea as an alternative to coffee because it was also much cheaper.
Yeah.
So the prices for coffee went up. And obviously, still you want culture, socializing, and so on. And they basically said, you got like 4 cups of tea for the same price as 1 cup of coffee.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So and then I think that's when it switched, and now it's basically everywhere. Now it's like
It's so interesting that actually like. That country is the biggest consumer, but doesn't have the longest history.
Yeah. So it's very, very new in history.
Just like 19 what? 19.
So like in the 1930s. So basically, first kind of part of daily life since 1878.
Yeah.
And then the first large tea cultivation.
Yeah.
Like is like a place.
Become like their national.
Like their national, where they
Nation
actually also
tea,
produced in mass amounts. That was 1937, and then in 1965 they actually started exporting.
Yeah.
It's not that long.
It's not that long. It's not long.
No, it's not long. Because it's quite interesting because, you know, the second largest producing and consumption of tea is, do you know where?
Yeah, I know because I've done the research.
Do you know where? Do you know where? Yeah.
Let's say England again.
It's
not
close. It's quite close to me. It's in Ireland, which is like, wow. I didn't realise that. That's crazy. And then obviously the second consumption is England.
Third.
The third. Sorry, sorry, Shivi. Yeah, the third. So. And it's quite interesting because you said that Turkey was 2.5. So England is 2.1
kilograms.
2.1 kilograms of dried tea they drink every single year.
Yeah, 2 kilograms, that's tea bag, isn't it?
Well,
how they measure it?
It's
I don't
dry
understand.
tea.
It's just dry tea.
It's just
right?
dry. They just say dry, dry tea. So yeah.
Is it, you know the Turkish tea that they make with the leaf, literally the leaf? Yes. No tea bag, yeah?
No.
Not like a England.
No, and also Turkey, when they don't use any chemicals or
oh really?
Like it's all natural when they kind of produce their tea. They're not using
processed.
no chemicals used.
Wow.
Do they use milk, sugar, or that?
No milk, never milk. Sugar, yes, to make it sweet, but no milk, no.
Oh.
Maybe a lemon, but I think it's just usually the tea and sugar.
Yeah, a little bit like we've been to one for a shop. It's I think I can't remember. Is it a Lebanon restaurant or what?
Lebanon?
Oh yeah. I can't. Where they were serving the small
the
tea like this.
It's really, really strong.
I think it was like Lebanon. Yeah, from.
Because they literally the
Lebanon.
tea from the pot. Then you put glass, the small glass.
Yeah.
Then you put that tea, even without sugar, you can't swallow it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's so strong.
It's
right?
really strong and really, really sugary.
Yeah.
They put
but you
a
have
lot
to put a lot
of
of sugar in.
They put a lot of
So
sugar
for
in.
me, usually I don't drink tea with sugar. But that tea without sugar, you literally gonna shoot on your head. Yeah. So I have to put like 1 sugar. When I start, when I drink, it's still very bitter. I have to put literally 3 spoons of sugar.
Yeah.
in that.
But they drink it in little glass cups as well.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same. And it's the same in Turkey, and it's like they do it like this.
Yeah.
Hold it like this, and they have like their little spoon. And
Yeah.
but I think it's also to see it, to actually see the color. So it's like
Yeah.
you want to see the color. If you
Yeah.
put milk in it, it just gets cloudy, right? It just gets
It
like
depends
mud.
where you are.
Well, it just looks like mud, doesn't it?
So it's very different than English tea. You know, English tea you got
English, yeah, well,
sugar, all the
you have
milk.
sugar,
You have
milk.
everything.
But actually, you know, you say that we drink a lot of tea in tea bags, which we do. Like the average person will drink a lot of tea bag tea, like Tetley tea or PG Tips. But if you were talking about culture and you're talking about like a ceremony, then they usually loose tea.
Really?
Yeah.
What, like for your like your tea? What is it, like your tea where you get all the cakes?
Yeah.
And
So
everything?
if you were
like your cream tea.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you celebrate in a traditional way in England?
So in England, okay, so if there's lots of different ways that you can, like through history, there's a lot of different ways that it was practiced.
Yeah.
But today, if you're talking about sort of the average person, yeah, you're putting it in a cup. I mean, and there is like, you put a tea bag in a cup and you put hot water in, and then you leave it, and then you put milk and sugar. That's like how everybody would drink a cup of tea.
But also the hot water comes from a kettle, right?
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
like you're not putting it in a microwave.
No.
Microwave
Definitely no microwave. No, because it ruins the taste of the tea. It doesn't
Why you
taste
say
right.
that? Because people doing it.
Yeah.
Is that-
Yeah, in the US.
especially in the US.
Yeah,
really?
they
Yeah,
microwave
okay.
it. I never heard of that actually.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've
No.
seen people
Wait.
doing it.
You doing what? Put the
No, they basically put the tea bag, then tea or water, like, and then milk, and then they put it in a microwave to make it hot.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
How does that work? I
That's
don't
just
understand.
awful. I don't know how that is even possible. Yeah. But if you were having like a tea ceremony, so if you had like a very important guest, then you would make them some traditional tea. You'd have like a tea party, and you would have your very best china, and you would make tea in a pot, and then the tea. You'd put your leaves in, like your tea leaves, and they would say it would have to be 1 scoop of leaves for every teacup, and then you would have to heat the teapot up first, and then you heat it up. You heat the teapot up first by putting in hot water, and then traditionally you see like. If you go round to your grandma's house, you'll see that the teapot is like in like a woolly jumper.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's
I've
called a
seen
tea cozy, and that keeps the tea warm. And then obviously you'd pour the water in, and then you'd have to leave it for 3 to 5 minutes to steep, and then you would pour out your tea. And depending on what tea you had, so sometimes you would have. Darjeeling tea. You'd have black. It generally tend to be black tea, or you might have something like Earl Grey. If you have Earl Grey, you might not have it with milk. You might have it with traditionally you have it with lemon. So you'd have like little slices of lemon on the side, and then you would have like a whole, confectionery, some sandwiches. You'd have some tea cakes, and you would have this. Did I bring it with me? You'd have this. So for those of you out there who don't know what this is a traditional biscuit in England, which is a custard cream. I don't know whether you heard of custard creams out there. This is custard cream. Yeah, so you'd have a biscuit. So do you want to try a biscuit, Shifu?
No, thank
Do you want to try a biscuit?
Always try a biscuit.
Yeah.
Looks like this. Look, it has like.
And it's got custard in the middle.
And then
Sometimes it would be have
custard cream
chocolate.
inside.
Yeah,
Very
so
nice.
it's very traditional to have a cup of tea and then have a biscuit.
So Martine, people like to dunk in their biscuit
Yeah, they
into
do.
their tea, right?
They do.
So how many tea bags do you put in a teapot?
Oh.
Usually in a tradition.
Okay, traditionally you would put 1 tea bag in a cup.
In a cup.
In a cup.
So if you
not in a pot.
No, if you were making it for yourself,
Yeah.
like in the home, you would put 1 tea bag in your cup and then you'd fill it up.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like you put the tea bag in a pot.
That
then
would
you
be for
pour
tea leaves.
That would tea leaves.
That would be tea leaves. Yeah, traditionally that would be like tea leaves in there. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so you'd put that in there. And like English breakfast tea, Earl Grey, Darjeeling, mainly sort of black teas.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting because the tea culture in England didn't come around until like the 17th century. It was quite late as well, and it was brought in because Charles II married a Portuguese princess, and she really loved tea. She loved it. So because she loved it, then they had it imported into the country for her. Yeah, and it was really expensive.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it was?
No.
So it was back then £10.
So what is that? Is that like
That is equivalent to £2,000 nowadays. Yeah, and that was for
For what?
per pound.
Oh, per pound tea.
Per pound,
Okay,
yeah. And the average wage of a commoner back then was £50 a year.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's only for aristocracy.
Yeah, when I read as like back then, I think it's like between 17, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, I think back to 17th to 18th centuries, that's in England, that's for tea drinker only for high classes people.
That's right, yeah, aristocracy.
Because the common
for-
people cannot even drink
No,
it.
no,
Yeah,
they can't afford it.
Yeah.
They had it locked up in their tea caddies. So like the upper classes, they would have like a whole kind of like area and a tea caddy, and they'd lock it away because it was really, really expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'd only get it out on special occasions. And back then it was like, they said that tea had really like healing properties, and it was really, really good for your health. And that's the reason why they drank it. Which we know is true, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'm very interested because I don't know how this works, yeah. Because when I was in China, we all heard about like Queen's tea.
Queen's tea.
Yeah, the
yeah.
afternoon tea,
Yeah.
this one, yeah.
That was like
Yeah,
5 o'clock
afternoon
tea.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know
actually-
how is that work. I mean, I've seen people making a tea. It's like, okay, this is a Queen's style, and you got sandwiches, you got
That's right.
cakes,
So, have you
biscuits.
heard of elevenses?
What's that?
Have you heard of
I've heard of
elevenses?
11s. It's like a
Elevensies.
after breakfast, between lunch.
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
elevensies. So British people really, really love
Like
their
to-
snacks. They really love snacking. You know that we love to snack.
No.
Yeah.
You like it.
I like a snack. Always eating snacks. Yeah, but traditionally we have a thing called elevenses, and basically what it is at 11 o'clock you have a cup of tea and you have like a small snack.
Right?
Yeah.
So what kind of snack?
So it would be like a biscuit.
Oh, okay.
So you'd say elevenses, and then after that you would have afternoon tea.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is another time that you'd have tea
Yeah,
during
because
the day.
in a shop we've been to like a garden center. We've been there because they're doing the traditional, what they call it, the traditional tea, British tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a try. So basically, we ordered a whole set of the stuff. They come with a big tray. Different levels.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
have,
this is afternoon
sandwiches.
tea.
Yeah, you
Afternoon
have
tea.
sandwiches, cakes, and other, sweet stuff like that
That's
on
right.
it. So
Yeah.
then you got a pot of tea and a carb and all that.
Yeah.
It's
But that,
So the sandwiches-
I have a story as well. It's like because we also went out and you go into the pub or cafe, and I was like, it's on the thing and it says like cream tea on there, right?
Oh,
and you
yeah,
go
that's
like, I was like, yeah, I want cream tea, but I didn't know that cream tea involves all of this stuff. So I only wanted a cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
So I said like, yeah, I have cream tea.
Yeah.
Oh, then
And
you
then
got-
they came with tea and scones
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
and
yeah.
all of this. And I was
Yeah.
like, what's this? You know?
So cream tea is completely different.
Yeah.
So if you have like afternoon tea, you're talking about not like a snack. So you're talking not like 11s.
It's like a meal.
It's like, no, it's not like a meal. That's high tea.
What?
High tea.
Now it gets really complicated.
It gets complicated, yeah. High tea is like your main meal of the day, and it's kind of like the working sort of tea,
Right.
working class tea. Afternoon tea is like a social time, so it's like little sandwiches. They're kind of cut into triangles with the crust cut
Yeah,
off of it.
yeah.
Little cakes. Now cream tea, cream tea is completely different. So cream tea is like tea with a scone. It's really specific, a scone with clotted cream and jam. Yeah. Now, I found a really interesting fact about this, about where it originated from, because I was like, where did that come from? And it was actually developed in the 10th century by some monks.
What kind of monks?
In Devon.
Really?
Yeah, in Devon. Yeah, they had this recipe and they made it with bread.
What kind of monk, by the way?
It's a monk.
Oh, which one?
Which one? There's so many monks.
I don't know. It just said a monk. It just said Devon monks. They were restoring an abbey.
Anyway, so we call it monk. So I'm not sure what type of monk. Buddhism monk.
It's not Buddhism monk. It'll probably be a Christian monk.
Okay.
I would have thought a Christian monk, yeah. And apparently they found some scriptures, like some really old scriptures. And in these scriptures, in this abbey, it said that basically the monks had made this dish of like bread and clotted cream and jam for the workers who were restoring the abbey at the time. So it actually came from them. And then it's so cool, isn't it? And then basically they passed the knowledge on to the people of Devon. And then from there.
Oh, that's where the originate.
But there's like this big debate about like, do you put your clotted cream on? Do you put your cream on first?
And then the jam.
And then the jam, or do you put your jam?
And then the cream.
And then the cream. What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not a sweet person, but anyway, so I will. If I do it, I'm probably gonna put a jam on first.
So if you put the jam on first and then the cream, it means you're from Cornwall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from.
So you're from
I'm from China.
You're from Cornwall.
My previous life, maybe.
Yeah. If you do it around the other way, so if you put the jam on, if you put the cream on first and then the jam, apparently you're from Devon.
Oh, I'm definitely not a Devon person then.
No. So this is it. Yeah. So that's cream. That is cream tea.
So same as tea, same as English tea. Do you put tea first, or do you put milk first?
Oh, this is a big debate as well. So in
sugar.
There is a really specific way to make tea. The specific way is you put your tea in first and you steep it for 3 minutes. You have to steep it for a long time in order to get the flavour out.
Right.
Yeah, so you can't just put it in and then take the tea bag out, which is some people do.
Yeah.
And you're right, it just looks like dishwater. It's like, do you want tea with your milk? Hot milk? No. Yeah, so basically you put the tea bag in and you leave it for 3 to 5 minutes. And then you put the milk in. Yeah. And that will determine on how strong you would like your tea. Yeah, and then you put the sugar in after that.
Yeah. We had a work colleague once, and it was like, it's just asking, it's kind of always at work, it's like, who makes the cup of tea, right? Any person can make a cup of tea. So she was like, who wants a cup of tea? So she came back with this tea, and it was like, it looked like really milky white, right? And I was like, what is this? How did you make this? You know? And then she was like, yeah, I'll put milk in, then the tea, and then the water. And I was like, how much milk did you put in? And I was like, no, this is not how you make tea.
Definitely not. Definitely not. There is definitely a way that you need to make it, and it has to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order for the flavours to come out.
So then you put sugar, yeah?
Then you put sugar in. Well, you can put sugar in it. It's your choice, but yeah, it's kind of.
Do you put a sugar next? Or do
you put it in last. You put it in last.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, from experience.
From experience.
I put it in last, but I don't have tea with my. I don't have milk, sugar with my tea anymore.
So how many cups of tea, English tea do you drink a day?
Okay, let me just think about this. Hang on. So I definitely have 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I literally have 3 in the morning.
Oh wow!
Just to wake up. That's really bad, isn't it?
You don't drink coffee?
And in the afternoon, no, I don't drink coffee. Coffee makes me shake.
Right.
Yeah. And then 1 in the afternoon to, that's about 6 already.
6 already.
And then probably 1, 2, maybe 2 or 3 in the evening. Oh my God, that's 9.
10.
That's nearly 10 cups of coffee a day.
The average drink is like 10 cups of tea a day.
In Germany, you drink tea as well, but not as much. They drink more coffee. So they're more coffee drinkers.
Right.
But they do. They have like in the north, they have a like Ostfriesen. They are known for their tea as well, and they do it in a specific way too. They have it like the tea sugar first. Then,
Sugar?
No, it's like they do also. They do the tea, then they put in sugar, and then they put in cream on top. Yeah, and then but they don't stir it. So they have it like you have to set it
Layers.
like this layer. So and then you drink it, and if you stir it, you're a bit like no, this is not how it's done.
So in China,
In China, obviously, they drink tea. Of course, we all know that because China is like the largest tea consumer. Producing. I mean, not consuming, producing, but they're not the largest the consumer drinker. Should we put it this way? They start getting bigger and bigger every year. But a comparison to Turkey, no, it's no way to compare. But they're very big. In exporting tea, that's for sure.
yeah. Well, from culture, like if you look at the culture, when we were doing the research on it, all the tea was introduced from China into these different countries.
Because if you talk about tea culture, the tea culture, the longest tea culture is from China in the world. Because they have the longest tea culture, history and the people started drinking tea back to the before Tang Dynasty.
Yeah.
You're talking about many thousand years.
It's like 5,000 years old.
That's before that.
But then the Chinese have like also certain way when they drink the tea, with whom they drink it, and how they drink it, right?
There's a massive culture, isn't it? Massive culture. And actually the history is really long, complex history. And it went from being drunk by emperors. It's like, I suppose it's the same as in England when it was really expensive, so only the emperors drank the tea and only the
as we mentioned earlier.
Drank tea.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier because the tea drinking, in olden days, they drinking tea is not like tea. They're drinking tea as like medicine. This is like you're taking a medicine. We're obviously gonna link to I'm sure you're gonna cover that part about where the original Chinese tea come from, how they discover the tea, stuff like that. It's a very interesting story. For example, in different culture, they serving like we were talking about earlier, the prepare for the tea, and the way they drinking it, way they ceremoning. For the tea ceremony are different. I think, for example, you're talking about the English way to doing an Turkish way. They are different, But again, so there are many other cultures celebrate differently as well. Two specific one is like Japanese tea and Tibetan tea. I'm not sure if you guys know Tibetan tea because Tibetan tea is not like really. Turkish tea, nor Chinese tea and Russian tea because in Tibet they drink tea. It's literally it's a salt. And what?
I don't know.
Salt with butter. But in fact, in Tibet tea, they not called it like obviously when if you don't know about Tibetan tea, we call it Tibetan tea this or another. They have official name for Tibetan tea. It's called butter tea.
Butter tea.
Butter tea. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So how do they do it? Do they mix it all up? Do they put the butter?
Where does the butter come from? It's like they don't have cows, right?
No, that's a traditional.
Or something.
No, what you call it, the animal.
Yak.
Yak.
Oh, yak milk.
So they use that as traditional way, obviously, because in a traditional way you put a little bit like their tea leaves a little bit like we using this tea. It's like a pure tea.
What, a bit like a powder?
No, it's like a cake. Tea cake.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, you boil the water, then you put the tea cake into the water, boil it for a few minutes. Roughly around 5 minutes until the color change to like a dark brown, or some red brown, very very red, and so then after that you put that. This is just roughly, obviously. If you guys want to know a little bit details, you have a look it up, So then
you have to go there.
Yeah, you have to literally go there,
exactly.
But the interesting thing is the process. The process is very different. Usually the same as other culture. Literally for it's like the lifestyle. you're drinking tea, before you go to work because. They drinking a reason they love the tea because the tea contain a lot of calories. That keep you going. So before you go to work, usually the local people drink a few bowl of tea. By the way, they don't use. These days they use a cup, but in the olden days traditionally they use a bowl. But a lot of people still use bowls. It's today as well. So you drink a few bowls of tea and then go to work. Can't keep you.
Going for all day. So that is why,
I remember seeing it on a television program. They're all in yurts. Yeah. They're in their yurts, and then they have this. They boil up the tea, and then they drink. Yeah, it's quite warming. I suppose it must be quite nourishing, very warming. Yeah.
So basically, the customer, usually if you have, you visit your relative or your friends living in Tibet, the way they present it is actually really, really good because you're just sitting around. Then they made the tea. Then they start to give you the tea. Basically, the tea is continuously served. Now, if you drink it, you put down, they give you more. You drink it, you put down, kind of more. Now, if you don't want the tea anymore, you cannot make sure. The best way to do it is to make sure you leave your tea, don't touch it. Otherwise, if you drink it, then you got another one. You drink it, and then you got another one. It's continuously to drink it. But if you touch it, not drink it, that's really disrespect.
Oh, really? So hang on a minute. So if you
touch it, for example, you touch it, you just
and then just go like.
Yeah, so that's really disrespect.
Bad.
Yeah, so you need to take it. You keep drinking.
So that's I think it's in many cultures if they offer you tea, it's like part of their. Hospitality, how they value you.
Oh yeah.
I think in Turkey it's the same. It's like if you refuse, it's a bit of an insult, isn't it? You should say yes at least to one.
That's right. Yeah. And they have it in the Chinese culture as well, where you have to acknowledge the tea. You can't just you have to kind of say, oh, it smells really nice and tastes really. It looks really good, and it's ways in which you have to handle the tea as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like so
Japan.
Japan is the same, just a different culture, then they present it differently. But in Japanese, they more it's more like a presentation.
Or like a ritual.
Yeah, like a ritual. You stay just drinking the tea. Okay, it's not like a Chinese way they serve tea. Okay, serve it, everyone have a cup, and then you smell the tea, and then you taste it, and then you tell, okay, how you feeling about the tea, and then you start to drink it, and so on the process. But in Japan, it's very different. First of all, because again, way I see it, I've been to Japan a couple of years ago, and not just a couple of years ago. I've been there a few times already. So we when we visit, and then different school, they have different rules.
Yeah.
It's not like. Almost the same, everyone use the same rules. It's not like that because you go again. It's a different. If you go to different houses, a different family, they have different rules as well.
How do you know the rules?
Yeah, what do you actually have to do?
They have should we say that compulsory rules?
What's the compulsory rule?
Or common rules for everyone.
They use for example, they use the equipment. It's kind of the same like equipment, but again, it's depending on the season as well in Japan because where I see it, I have too much nose. I can't be bothered.
I know I've abandoned my nose as well.
So it's like, oh my god, so many nose here. So I think it's from. I think if I'm wrong, just correct me. I think from March to from March to October. Before October, they call it the cold season. Yeah, it's called the cold season.
Season.
Yeah.
Oh, cold.
Then you use different tea equipment to serve different tea. And drinking different tea as well.
I've also seen they use different decorated bowls and things according to the season.
That's really nice. I haven't seen that in China. I have seen if you use a different type of tea, then you're going to use a different set.
No, in Japan it's a little bit. This is where the culture are different. So you whenever you're in the hot season, then they use a different koimen as well. You know, so basically the Japanese tea culture originally come from China. So because what happened is, so one of a monk. Again, look at my nose, guys. You know, my nose is absolutely everywhere. So anyway,
It was a monk anyway. It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
it's like a Buddhist monk. So he brought the tea culture, you know, from China to Japan. So
wow,
at the
that's
time,
interesting.
you know, he presented the tea to the Japanese emperor. Again, I got it down. I can't remember where now. So the emperor was traveling. You know, he was on holiday. So he presented tea to the emperor. When the emperor tasted it, oh, brilliant! You know, he loved the tea. You know, basically that tea. At that time, actually, the tea didn't spread that much. You know, later on, you know, the spread. Yeah.
That's your monk.
Oh yeah, 9th century. That guy called Yi Chung. Yeah, in Chinese we call it Yong Zhong. You know, so yeah. So that's the tea. That's the person. That's the monk code. You know, so he brought the tea, gave the emperor. Emperor really loves it, and then they start to spread the tea to Japan.
It's kind of the same in other practices. It seems to have followed the same path. So it's kind of like the tea culture obviously come from China, and then people have gone over to China. Like in Russia, they went over to China, and then they brought the tea back to Russia, and then the tea culture's kind of developed from there. It's fascinating, isn't it?
So the way they present it is very different. You know, in Japan, it's like it's very different than Chinese tea. For example, you know, Chinese tea, obviously, similarity-wise, at the very beginning, you know, you obviously called, you know, in China, you drinking tea ceremony, we also call it cha dao.
Cha dao,
Cha dao.
Tea
It's the
way.
same, yeah. So you call it the same, yeah.
Yeah. So in Japan, it's the same. You know.
Yeah.
So
if you don't know out there, cha dao means. Cha means tea and Dao means way, so it's like the way of tea, or tea way. Yeah, it's kind of very Zen.
Yeah, it's very Zen.
It's very Zen practice.
You know, before you drinking tea, you know, in China it's the same. You boil, make sure your cups, your koimens, all the koimens clean. So in Japan it's exactly the same. Making sure your tea cups, your tea tools, everything. They using the things called. I think it's called a whisker.
Whisk, yeah.
It's made of bamboo.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I've
the main
seen that.
tool to making a tea. You know, but make sure everything's clean. You know, before you make tea.
It's very specific, isn't it? It's
very specific,
very formal and very.
Basically, in Japan, there's like a there's two ways. It's like a formal, informal.
Oh, okay.
You know, the informal usually tea ceremony with a light meal. You know, light meal and with called a thin tea. You drink a thin tea.
Oh, thin tea.
Yeah, thin tea. So in formal, so you have a full meal with a thick tea followed by thin tea, and then with the.
So it's a bit like a proper 3-course meal with the dessert.
Yeah, with the dessert.
Kind of
It's
like that.
similar. Yes, it's similar. Yeah, but the way they're doing is very, you know, it's very unique because, you know, you have to, you know, the guests have to respect the host. You know, the host and make sure to present the tea. You use a unique way to do it. By the way, you know, if you guys want to learn how to make Japanese tea, there's a lot of you know, YouTube videos on it. You can have a look at it because it's really nice. It's very Zen practice, you know, very Zen practice. Because in Japan, you know, so the way they're making tea is really, you know, very close to the Buddhism way, the Buddhism way practice.
So is it? Do they say the way of the tea making is part of like, or can be called like a meditation?
Yeah,
or
that's like that's the
meditation
ritual.
way?
That's their ritual. You know, practice their own ritual. You know, so
it's like in trying to find a practice like a Zen or Chan through that practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Through the tea making practice.
Yeah.
So it's all to do with like from the Chinese side, to do with the environment. It's to do with the way in which you present the tea, and the timing and the space and the energy and the right timing to do things. So the right time to serve it and the right time to fill the cups and the right time to stop. Yeah.
So so there's
that,
it's the same. You know, the Japanese tea, the main tea. Wow.
And being,
You know, I'm sure you have you tried the Japanese tea? Japanese tea?
I've tried Japanese tea, but not in a Japanese way.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried this with like where they
use the cup.
I've never done I don't think I've done a Japanese tea
I haven't
ceremony.
had a try,
No.
I haven't.
But if you serve the tea, if you serve in the formal way, usually lasts around 4 hours. It depends on
Hang on, and so you last 4 hours, and if I'm right, you're kneeling.
Yeah, you're kneeling.
So you're kneeling.
Well, in Japan, you have the kneeling.
For 4 hours.
Tea house,
My
tea
knees.
room, should we say?
That's hard work.
So so 4 hours. That's from roughly around 4 hours, but depends on your guesses. But sometimes can last for 6 to 8 hours. Yeah, depends on your guesses.
That's a long time. That's a long time.
Yeah, because the tea, the common people drinking these days, they're drinking the Japanese tea is a little bit like, Japanese tea is like tea leaves, but made of powder, they made powder. Then you put a powder.
It's matcha, isn't
matcha
it?
tea, yeah.
Matcha. It's
matcha.
like bright green. You brought
That's
some
right.
back from Japan.
Yeah,
I remember
that's right,
it's like
yeah.
bright green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure don't put a lot of them because it can be really bitter. So so you put a little bit, a couple of spoons or something. Depends on your preferences.
Okay.
Usually 1 or 2 small spoons.
Yeah, they have this special wooden device spoon, and it's just like tiny. You only put like.
Do they have because I know in China they have like the whole tea table, and then they have all of the cleaning, and do they have a tea table or is it?
They have not a tea table. They have the tea appointment. So they have the thing. I'm not sure how you call it. Against like my things everywhere.
When you went there, did they have when you personally experienced?
But they use bowls, don't they?
Yeah, they have a big bowl. Basically, that's a boil of water.
Oh, right.
So another thing is what's it called? A tea caddy.
Tea caddy.
Yeah, caddy. And then they have a big bowl, and they have like like a cloth on there. Usually on the womb. Usually, if you're a female serving the tea, so on the females that on the side, you clean the cups. You clean.
It's like a handkerchief, like a handkerchief or something. Yeah, it's a very ceremonial, isn't it?
Yes,
And very ritual.
Yeah. So so they have a lot of the one another things that's scoop. So
that's the wooden thing.
That's right. Yeah. So they don't have a tea table. They just their things are very simple, but you have to know the way, the process, and also.
But like the order, right?
The order,
right?
the rules, because you got to know this. It's not like you just make a tea and then drinking it, because the process takes time, and the rules is very mindful when you drink Japanese tea. Obviously, drink Chinese tea very mindful as well, but just a different way. Just a different way. So in Japan, like I said, it's more like you're doing a presentation rather than.
Oh right, I see.
I think they bow a lot as well.
Yeah. They bow.
Or like
Respect. Yeah. So that's the Japanese way to making tea. So whenever you guys want to go to Japan,
take some time.
Yeah, you need at least 8 hours.
Yeah, you do need to take some time for the formal way to making Japanese tea. Yeah, can't take up to it. If it's one person. Two people together, maybe take a couple hours. You should try, because usually, last time, me and my friends went to visit. That's like a Japanese temple in Kyoto. So that took us I have to say that's not formal way. That's informal way. We drink like thin tea. So that took us like a couple hours as well.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to show the respect. You have the knee in, slightly forwards, and take your shoes off, and take your clothes.
Put your socks on.
Yeah, put your socks on, stuff like that. Yeah. So it's really nice actually.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
Nice feeling. Yeah. I remember when we were in China. We did a tea ceremony in China, and they asked me to make tea for all of the kung fu masters, and there was a certain way, because there's a certain way you have to present everything, and then like Shifu was mentioning about it being apparently it shows as you're making the tea, it kind of shows your character as a person, and it has to be really calm and really kind of zen and in the moment. And I just remember thinking, I hadn't done it before, and I just remember thinking, oh no. And there's like all these like kung fu masters sat around who are so experienced in making tea. And I remember like sitting there and thinking, okay, now I've got to pour it. And I washed all the tea. I remember pouring out like this. And there's like tea everywhere all over the table. Like so nervous, like pouring out this tea. But yeah, it was really cool. I love all the tea ceremonies and the traditions and the practices, and yeah, it's really cool.
That's really good. So you practice all these years, so you can tell your audience how is Chinese tea, Chinese culture, tea culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell
Do you want to know
about Chinese tea culture? You know how they present the tea, how they drink it.
Okay. Well, it's so now. Wow. Okay, Shibu. Well done. So usually it's done for like formal, like if you're talking about like a tea ceremony, usually it's kind of done for like a formal occasion. So it can be done for like a wedding, or it can be like if an important guests are coming, then you can present them this tea ceremony. And this would kind of like how it would look is you would have like a tea table, and you would kind of have a process of washing your tea, and the way in which you present the teacups, and there would be like a whole kind of I've got my notes here. I'm going to just kind of do it from memory, but
exactly.
It's kind of like
you should have remembered
yeah.
that by
Okay,
now,
so I think about like how we
because
did
it's been tested so many times.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so basically. You have the tea, so you would choose your tea, and obviously there's lots of different types of tea in China. So I think it's like 8 different types of tea. So there's like white tea, black tea, green tea, oolong tea, herbal tea, flower tea. So you would choose your tea, and then you would choose the equipment that you were going to use and the way you were going to present the tea. And then the first part would be you would have to wash all of the cups.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a Japanese one.
Yeah, same way. So you have to clean everything. You have to clean all your cups, and you would have like implements on the side. You'd have like little brushes and things to hold the cups up with, and then you would kind of clean all that. So you'd clean all your equipment first and clean all your teacups, and you present it out, and you would have to serve a certain way. So you'd have to make sure that you're always serving from the left to the right. Yeah.
Okay, so what does it mean if you do it the other way around?
So if you go the other way around, it means tea time's over. It's time to go home. Yeah, home time.
So if you start like that, it's not a
everyone's
good way
like,
to start.
We're going home now, right? Okay. Yeah. So you kind of have to serve it from the left to the right, and and there's kind of an etiquette and a way to do it. So you have to make sure, obviously, that you're very calm. You have to. You have to put your tea into the teapot. Oh, how do you do this now? I can't remember now. Okay, so you put your tea into the teapot, and then you have to wash the tea. So the first cup that you pour, you don't drink. That one is just kind of washing the tea. And then you kind of wash your tea, and then the second cup that you pour out, this is the one for your guest.
Yeah.
So then you'd pour the tea out.
What about the first cup?
The first cup,
oh yeah,
that's right.
You know?
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah. So basically, the first cup is to wash the cup, and then also on the table you will have like some tea pets. Have you seen these?
Yeah, I've seen.
They're like little clay figures. Yeah. And they kind of represent. Things that you want to bring in your life. So you might have like a Buddha, you might have a 3-legged toad to bring in lots of money.
It's a bit like a charm, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a charm, Or you might have like a gourd, or you might have, I don't know, there's quite loads, like a dragon, or you might want to bring power in. So basically the tradition is that the first cup, you have to feed your tea creatures on the table, and they're going to bring you luck. So everyone will kind of pour their first cup of tea on these little tea pets on the cha chong.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, almost.
Cha chong on the tea pets. And then the second tea that you pour out is for your guests to drink. Yeah. So then you would pour all the tea out from the left to the right, and you have to pour it out a certain way. You can't kind of overfill. Yeah, you have to make sure that it's like, really good. And the way in which you pour it, because it's kind of like an art form. It's like you said in Japan, it's like a real art form to it. So the way in which you pour the tea, you can, pour it from quite a height and down, then it creates this kind of bubbles on the tea, which is called dragon's spit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spit.
dragon's spit.
So Martine,
kind of bubbles.
if I come as a guest to your tea ceremony,
Yes.
what rules do I need to follow?
Okay, so these are the rules.
Where's the money first?
Yeah, give me money.
Okay, very important.
So if I give you tea, so if I pass you tea like this,
Yeah.
then
So you do it with both hands.
you
yeah?
have to take the tea with both hands.
So I have to take the tea with both hands.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then you would have to acknowledge that I've given you the tea, so then you'd have to smell it and look at
Okay.
it. Yeah, and then you would have to taste it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
then
not
you'd-
drinking out of your cup.
Okay, yeah. Social distancing. Yeah, so over there. So you would take that, and then you'd have to drink it with two hands.
Oh, I have to drink it with two hands. Okay.
Two hands, yeah. And then you'd have to tell me how amazing the tea is.
Ooh, very nice.
Is it really nice? Yeah. And then you put down.
full-bodied.
Yeah.
I feel really warm inside
Oh, that's
now.
really good. Yeah.
I'm
And
not correct now.
oh, really? Is that not right? And then, if you wanted more, yes, I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot something. Yeah. So basically, if I poured your tea, then you can use two fingers like this to tap either on the table or on your cup. Is it on the cup or table?
Table usually.
On the table, yeah. So as Shifu mentioned, in Japanese culture, they do a lot of kowtowing. They bow down to say thank you for the tea. So in Chinese culture, they kind of don't do a lot of this bowing. But if you want to show respect, you can use your two fingers to kind of mimic bowing. Yeah, so you can tap tea. And this was because, well, we can go into
Or this way.
or like this.
This is kneeling down, represent the kneeling
Oh,
down.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
do.
This way, this way.
Oh,
Or you
okay.
do this.
Okay, this way.
Yeah. So there are many ways, but depends.
Just to say thank you.
Yeah, just says majority of these days like say thank you. In the olden days, back to Qing Dynasty, this is kneeling.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what is if you did this, or if you did this,
Yeah.
or if you did this?
No, you do one.
No,
you don't have
no.
to.
But which one was the more devoted one, or the one that?
No, you
the
should
most-
like
Any
this.
of that, like that.
Any
Yeah,
of this,
any of
okay.
it.
Because
So
basically,
it's not
what-
just like one is more than the
No,
other.
no,
No.
Oh, okay.
Because basically, what it was when the emperor used to go traveling around to visit the common people, the common
yeah,
people.
yeah.
So he basically couldn't go dressed as an emperor; he had to go in disguise.
That's
but
right.
when his subjects were looking after him, every time you serve the emperor, you have to bow,
That's
because
right.
it's the emperor.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in public because it would kind of give it away a little bit, right? If
right.
everyone's
Yeah.
like kowtowing. So they basically developed this gesture of like,
No, that. This
and
way.
this one, oh, this
Yeah,
one,
Yeah.
like this, like.
First the two fingers like this. Like that.
And that is like, because your emperor never really serves you tea. Yeah, you always serve the emperor. But if the emperor would, in disguise, he would serve you tea, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. The emperor just served me some tea.
That's it. You can't drink it with the queen now. Go. You need to go to the
Okay,
queen now.
I'll be the queen. She'd be like, very good. Yeah. So then there's like these little custom, and obviously if you go to a tea ceremony, you can't go in your jeans and t-shirt.
Oh, so
You
need
can't
to
just
dress
rock up
yeah?
like that. No, you can't rock up like that. That's like, no, you
So
have to be in your
what's the
best.
dress? What's the dress called? Best as you
Best
can.
attire, yeah. You have to wear, like, if you're a lady, you have to wear
Qipao.
qipao.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're a gentleman, you have to wear this Mandarin collar thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like really,
That's the
Posh.
obviously that's a formal way.
formal way.
Yeah.
But if you're just having like a tea ceremony, yeah, you could just wear something like that. But yeah. And then you would pour the tea out, and then you'd have to get the right timing. So then you'd have some snacks. You'd have things like this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that one in a minute.
yeah, you'd have some fruit, or you could have some. What else do they
Savoury.
serve?
Sometimes
Savory,
Nuts.
yes, yes, the dry
Watermelon.
fruit, nuts. You can pour. Usually serve with some fruits and. You also can have some crisps, for example. But that's these days.
Nice.
But olden days, no, you don't. You don't.
No,
tea
you
just
just
tea.
tea. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
tea just tea.
That's like modern way to drink.
Yeah, the
it
modern
now,
way to drink it differently.
Yeah. And then you have to know the right time when to stop. I thought that was quite interesting.
So when do you stop?
When you feel it.
When you feel it?
Yeah.
So it's not like 10 rounds?
No, you have
Or-
to feel. This is what they were saying in China.
When you feel that your audience gets drunk, or
I know you can't, and also it's really rude as a host. You can't say, "Do you want some more tea?" Because normally in England you'd be like, "Do you want another cup of tea?" should we have another cup of tea? It's really good. But in China, if you do a tea ceremony, and I was the host and I was asking you, do you want some more tea? It's like, you know, it's like kind of
so
not.
what? You need to feel it.
You have to feel when the right moment is, when to stop, and you have to fill up. Like, you have to make sure you're really observant and make sure that all the cups stay full. Yeah.
So basically, until your guest had enough.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't stop it. You know, you just keep drinking. Usually, you will know. You will, like you said, you feel it. You will know your guest had enough.
Yeah.
Then that's when it's time to stop.
Okay.
I remember when we were in China, I remember asking Dafeng and saying to him, do you want some more? And he was like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. You have to feel. And I was like, it's starting to rain. Do I stop now? It's raining. He's like, you'll know. It's like tipping. I think it's time to stop now. It's raining.
Yeah. So that's good. You know, I mean, you know, we're talking about Chinese culture, Japanese. I mean, I did talking about a little bit about the Tibetan. But you know, if you want some Tibetan tea, I mean, I tried it once. It's not my favorite, I have to say.
What was it like? Was it really salty?
No, actually, it's nice. No, my personal opinion. Yeah, so I didn't quite enjoy it, but probably I didn't drink enough. I think, you know. Yeah, so it's
like?
salty. It is salty, but it's, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know, it definitely give you a lot of energy for sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
I want to try it. I really want to try it.
Yeah, sure,
Maybe you try
it.
also. Maybe if you try it like in the morning, or it depends the time.
That's
try
right.
it.
Yeah.
Definitely can give you a lot of energy. And if you guys want to try it, and you can't find a lot of videos on how to make, you know, like Tibetan tea. It's very simple as well. It's not that difficult, not like a Japanese way or Chinese way or Turkish way to making it, because Tibetan tea actually quite easy to make. As you know, you watch a couple of times, you probably figure out how to do it already. Yeah. So we cover kind of this. You know, we kind of you know, exploring a lot of tea culture. You know, but the tea is so much benefit to us. You know, if you really, I mean, don't be wrong. Some of you guys are probably not into tea. You're probably into the coffee. The coffee you drink enough is good for you. You know, so I think the tea is, you know, to me, I talk about my personal experience. You know, to me, I will never have enough of tea.
You will always be
drinking tea.
Always drinking, because the tea is so
really
good for you. Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, it's got some amazing health benefits. So, like even the green tea. So I think it's really good for your heart. Like, there's actually been studies done, like on PubMed. If you go online and have a look, it would tell you kind of like the sort of the scientific proof that tea has had on the body. So some of it we were researching lowers your cholesterol. It's really good if you've got diabetes, so it can like manage your blood sugar levels. Yeah, it's good. Obviously, traditionally it can be used in like Chinese medicine as well for weight loss and helping with. Some flower teas are really great to like reduce your temperature. So if you've got like a lot of heat in your body, it can like clear heat. And it's really good. You know, it's got a lot of antioxidants in it, so it's really good for your immunity. And then it has this this chemical in it called polyphenols, which is, I didn't realize, but actually this chemical polyphenol is really good for your memory. So it's really good for, because you know the monks used to use the tea to help improve their memory after they were doing their meditation, you know, help to improve their awareness in their meditation practice. But yeah, it has this chemical and it's kind of linked to that. But this chemical is also really good for radiation, apparently. It can diffuse radiation. So this is the kind of the recent studies on it. So the benefits of tea are just immense, and just there's so many different
types you can try as well.
Yeah, it's really good for lowering your blood pressure. Yes, it's amazing. Yeah. So if you haven't tried tea or you haven't drunk tea before, then it's a really good for you to get into. You know,
it's a good time to start. Actually.
Yeah, good time to start.
This is the right season as well, because now it's like mid of September now.
Yeah.
And you know, it's all the energy. If it's from Qigong of a point, you know, because all the energy starts rising up, and your body tends to, you know, absorb a lot of energy from outside. So it's a good time to start something new. Actually, you know, maybe change your habit from coffee to tea. Okay, I'm not a tea seller, by the way. Okay, so I'm just saying, this is tea has a lot of benefits. Yeah, that's all.
And if our viewers, they want to watch a tea ceremony, do we have anything they can watch coming up?
No.
Tea
we
ceremony,
have coming up. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
some coming up.
So we have the moon cakes. Do you want
Oh
to-
yeah. Oh yeah, this is so
is
cool.
one or the other.
So basically what's coming up is we have a Mid-Autumn Festival coming up, and usually for Mid-Autumn Festival you would you do a lot of Chinese cultural activities. So you would have a meal with your family, you might have a very special occasion. It's a very special occasion, so there you might have a tea ceremony, and then during that ceremony, or you might have some moon cakes. So that's what we've got here in front of us, is some moon cakes.
Yeah. Do you want me to cut one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to try it?
I've been waiting
Yeah.
all day for this.
So before I cut it, just to let everyone to know, next Saturday, 12 o'clock. It's a next Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, it's on the
Doing
3rd
one
of
now.
October.
3rd of October, yeah.
3rd of October, we've got a tea ceremony, so we're inviting some special guests.
Special guests, yeah. So on 3rd of October, we have these events happening in here. So we're going to have a special video to show you guys how we celebrating the Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival. So we have a tea ceremony, we have some dance, we have some calligraphy workshop, and we have amazing storytelling as well. But there's some special guests on it. So if you guys are free, please
Join us.
Join
Yeah,
us.
come and join
so
us.
now I'm gonna cut this moon cake just to show you guys what it look like.
Yeah.
From the inside.
This is like a
inside.
traditional snack. It's traditional snacks. So moon cake is like, because obviously it's a full moon festival, they have inside the snack, they have like an egg, which represents the moon. Or if you're really lucky, you have two eggs, like double egg. Wow, very lucky if everything comes in twos, right? So this is and this is the modern one. This is a modern one.
That one you have to cook, right? Or you don't?
Yeah, so this
we
one you
already
cook.
bought
Oh, this
it
one
up,
already
So this one is called a lava mooncake. So you cook it in. This is what the kids have nowadays. You cook it in the microwave, and it's hot on the inside, and you cut it, and then it all like seeps out. Apparently,
Ooh.
apparently Chi was telling us he sells
Wow,
these in
this
his
is
shop. Oh,
one egg. I guess I'm not as lucky.
Janine loves eggs.
So anyway, so this is
Really?
this is a moon cake look like, and if you guys are wondering, because there are so many different types as well. This is just one of the type. There are so many different types you can try. So this is by the way, all the moon cake is sponsored by the Yao Brothers. So if you don't know what's Yao Brother, because they have a website called yaobrother.co.uk. So yeah, you guys can have a look at it, and you guys can order those moon cakes from their shop. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, would you like to try?
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah?
I'll try.
Would you like to try?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Don't
want a
have
bigger
to.
yolk?
No.
No.
So I think this has got like lotus paste in it, hasn't it? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut a small one to show you guys as well.
Don't eat this now. I love mooncakes.
You love moon cake.
You like the bits without the egg.
Egg is a bit weird, but yeah, I like this one. Very good. It feels weird eating at night, not on Moon Festival though.
Yeah.
Moon Day.
But yeah, just to show some of you guys what
can
it looks
see it.
like. Lego,
It's like pastry.
Sorry. This is a small one. This is like small yolk. And
Normally it
what's in
comes
the
out.
cake? Yeah.
Normally it's got custard inside because it's cooled down.
Would
It's
you like
like
to try
dry.
this one? Try it.
Wow, just like eating, it's like snacking. Yeah, so normally when you cut it open, it's normally runny on the inside because you put it in the microwave and heat it up. And that's why it's called a lava cake.
Okay.
I'm just gonna eat it. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. Very good.
Very sweet.
Yeah. Okay. I think I guess that's today's topic. Yeah. Do you enjoy today's topic?
Yeah, it was really good. It was so interesting doing all the research and finding out all about the cultures and what they do in different countries and why they do it, their customs, and it's so
Just
so
makes
interesting.
you want to drink more tea, huh?
Yeah, it makes you want to try. It's really really fascinating.
Yeah, obviously today we didn't explore that many countries. We mainly explore like English, British tea,
Yeah,
and
Japanese.
Chinese tea, Japanese, Tibet, and Turkish tea.
Yeah, there are so many
So
more.
there's so many. For example, there's like Thailand, not Thailand,
Like Morocco.
Morocco, Vietnam,
Russia.
Russia, and so on. So yeah. So if you guys like our topic, and if you want us to explore, in different culture, let us know. Then we can explore a little bit more deeper of tea culture.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely, yeah. So it's like we said, we really hope you enjoyed our talk today, and we will be back again
Next
Saturday, next Saturday at 12, so you can come and join us.
Yeah.
And like Shifi mentioned, if you really enjoy our talks, then please let us know and send in your messages, and you can find out lots of information about what we do at UK Shaolin. So thank you so much for watching, and shall we do a toast?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Cheers.
we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.